Recorded and live. Here we go. Are we live now? I think so. Okay. Okay, we're live. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Local Government by County Agencies Subcommittee of E&T, and we are having a work group on one bill, which is House Bill 698. We had discussion on this the last time we met, and there are some amendments that Ben has sent out with the interlineated reprint. And I'm going to ask Ben to remind us about the bill and what the amendments do, and then we can discuss. Okay? Go ahead, Ben.
Okay, thank you, Chair Healy. It's HB 698, and this concerns development impact fees, excise taxes, and surcharges. There's no state or local fiscal impact. There's a local mandate requiring counties to comply with a reporting requirement. The goal of the bill is generally for transparency and impact fees and excise taxes. These fees.
Hold on. Hold on, Dan.
Yes?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so and just real quick, yeah, the fees and excise taxes enable local governments to collect revenue for their public facilities that are necessitated by new residential and commercial development. We discussed this bill at the previous subcommittee after feedback from members and further discussions with the chair, the sponsor, and with MACO. There's now an amended version that I'll pull up. So I'll do that if that's okay. And I sent a request to share my screen. Thank you. All right, so here's the amended version. MACO's initial testimony that they submitted was identifying a concern about the district-specific reporting requirement on the collection of impact fees. So the bill is introduced. This is B here. Subsection B is the reporting on the impact fees for counties that are imposing them, impact fees, surcharges, or excise taxes. The language that was struck here, this is the first example of the MACO requested amendment to strike the jurisdictional or the district-specific language. So the first part we still have B1 here where we're collecting the report's collecting the total amount of development impact fees, surcharges, or excise taxes paid to the county. That a little clarification there to the county is because we were removing some of the district-specific language. The next part is this came about paragraphs 2, 3, and 4 here. It came about from subcommittee discussions. It's a breakdown on the type of impact fees. We saw on paragraph 1, it's just the total amount that's collected. So this is in the same line of thought about that, where we're getting the breakdown on the fees, surcharges, or excise taxes that are imposed, the rate, the amount of the fee, and then the total amount from each fee. 5 is the existing provision that was in the bill, again, striking the district-specific language that MACO requested be removed because of challenges that I understand that it'd be challenging to gather this information and some of the more vague terminology that was used. So this way, it's a countywide reporting requirement as opposed to the district-specific on the portion of fees, impact fees, or excise taxes that are used by the county to fund capital improvement projects, things like transportation, school, construction. And then in 6 here, this is another one that was brought about after discussion by members in the subcommittee, the previous work session, and it's just getting into the basis, the underlying law that's the authority for that. MACO mentioned that this probably won't change often, but it helps keep all the kind of information about impact fees, excise taxes in one place. Real quick, the last part here, C was struck again after discussions in the subcommittee. This is what C is it references information that may otherwise be required under a subtitle that has these excise taxes and fee requirements, but not all of the provisions do. And again, the goal and the basis for striking that subsection C there is because to keep all the information in one place in this one report. The last part was striking D2, lines 18 to 19, because all counties maintain a website, and also it's just significantly easier to access that information on a website, on the county website, as required in D1. So with that, thank you, Chair Healy.
Okay, everybody's heard and seen the amendments. Are there any questions on the amendments? Delegate Layman. Go ahead.
Thank you, Delegate Haley. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So, yeah, my question actually, excuse me, is for the sponsor. And now that I have a better understanding of the bill, I appreciate it. I think it's a good one. I was just curious, in going over the bill and the changes, is the focus intended to be just on how capital projects are funded? I do believe, at least in Prince George's, I think that sometimes surcharges and impact fees are also used to fund services. For example, we have a public safety impact or surcharge fee on new development, and I do believe that I'm almost certain it can be used for actual emergency services, not just the construction of like police or fire stations. Have you thought of that? Is this meant to focus just on how this money is being used for capital projects?
If I may, Madam Chair.
Yeah, Delegate Allen, go ahead.
Thank you. No, I mean, honestly, I mean, I'm curious in general. Where the funding is going, if each county is charging fees differently and using them differently. I'm open to any and all information about how they're using it and where it's going, and comparing notes from county to county. So.
Okay. Ben, does this cover everything then? Does it cover operational or only capital?
No, it's capital projects, I believe.
And if that's your intention, that's fine. I just know I'm pretty certain in Prince George's that one fee, for school impact fees, yes, that is used, is meant to be used for CIP projects or whatever it takes to relieve overcrowding. It could be temporary classrooms and that kind of thing. But I'm pretty certain that the public safety surcharge can actually be used for services.
Okay, but that would not be covered under this bill.
I would, yeah.
Right?
I wouldn't think you would want to exclude that, but it's up to you. It's your prerogative. It's your bill. I was just curious. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Delegate Tarasa. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought you wanted us to just sort of converse. So
I do, but I think I still have to be the traffic cop. So go ahead.
Okay. Just sort of in response to Delegate Layman, I actually think, and also now listening to what Delegate Allen was saying, why restrict this to capital? Like, don't we want to know what all of the impact fees are and all the excise taxes that are collected and what they're used for? Can we do that without restricting it? Would that be like,
well, yeah, let Delegate Allen, do you have any strong feelings about this one way or the other?
I mean, I don't, like I said to Delegate Layman, I'm, broadly curious. I also think, at least in certain counties, and Ben can correct me if I'm wrong, I think in certain counties the use of those fees is restricted to certain projects.
Okay, so Ben, let me ask Ben, would it be easy to do a quick amendment to make sure that it covers every kind of use of these fees?
Okay, and real quick, if I may, the paragraph 5 there, as we've been talking about, is the one that's asking for the portion of those fees, excise taxes that are used for the capital improvement projects.
so they're reporting them all.
Just trying to be helpful, like, yeah, paragraph 5 here is the portion of those. So the B1, let's do it from the top. B1 is the total amount of development impact fees, excise taxes paid to the county by new construction or development. B2, 3, and 4 are the type of the impact fee, excise tax, the amount of that tax, and then the total amount collected from each of those.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought we had amended that other part out because that's all we were looking at. Thank you. I forgot that was in my own bill.
And yeah, and then 5 is the is the part of the existing bill, which is just focusing on the capital improvement projects related to transportation, that type of stuff. So
Madam Chair.
Yeah, go ahead, Delegate Teresa.
Yeah, so let me just back up for a second. I really think this is a good bill. I'm really glad. I think we're like putting some polish on it just because I think it's such a good idea that we want to get the information. We want to make sure we're getting the information that I'm interested in as well. But 5 seems to be the only place where it's giving us any information about where the money is spent. Is that correct?
that's correct. That's my understanding. And that's the only one specifically providing about how it's used. Yeah.
Okay, so, let me, Delegate Foley, I'm sorry, Delegate Teresa, are you finished?
Well, I have a question about a different section, so I can. Do you want me to get?
Okay. Yeah, go, finish what you have to say, and then we'll move
Okay,
on to
so
the other
the-
delegates.
Okay, the other question I had is on the very end. I think it's D or. I just want to make sure at the end that this is still going to have to come in a report and be on the website. Like, I just want to make sure that this information isn't all scattered all over the place.
Well,
Like,
that's kind of the point of the bill, right? To have it all.
right, exactly. So I
Okay.
just want to make sure that what we've done to it now doesn't say, oh, well, some of you could put it on a website if it's there. Because the whole point is to have it, which I think is a really good idea about this bill, is to have that
Okay,
information
okay, Ben,
pulled together.
Great. Thank you, Chair Healy. In paragraph B, it's this is the reporting requirement to the governor and the General Assembly, the following information. Okay, and that's what we've been looking at 1 through, I think it's 6. In addition to that, a county shall make this report, the one to the General Assembly and the governor, available on the county's website.
that's done. That seems to do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem to do it all. The only thing I wonder is if the last one there, I wouldn't want that to undo the rest. Like it says, the county may submit the report as part of another report required under this article. That worries me a little bit just because like what you want is all the information gathered in one place, right?
Yeah, right.
So would that say, oh, well, we already submitted it to somewhere else, so we don't need to submit it here?
I think wherever it's submitted, it still has to be accessible through the website. I think isn't that, Ben?
That's right. For what it's worth, that D, or now it's the C2 technically, but lines 20 to 21, that's often like kind of like boilerplate language that's used to help with complying with a reporting requirement. If like, you know, if they want, it's oftentimes some of that overlaps, so that way they don't have to create like separate reports. But I think that the information that's being requested, to the extent that, that's pretty specific. I don't think it is being required at all. And so, yeah, I think that should be covering that, but yeah.
But
Okay.
so they would still, like, I understand that's boilerplate and that probably makes sense. It probably made more sense at a time when they were physically sending reports.
But
It's
this
still-
could just be done through a link. It'd be fine. I don't see any, I really don't see a problem.
Okay, as long as the report, I just don't want it to be buried in another report somewhere else.
Yeah, okay,
Okay, that's all.
okay, thank you. Delegate Foley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just not to keep beating that horse, but I think the way the bill's amended now, it actually makes it more, it makes it better in terms of everything being in one place because it is going, now that the requirement is that it go on the website and not be distributed any other way to the public. So I think that actually makes it more, that it's in one place. It's on the county website, period. And then they submit a report to the General Assembly and the governor. Anyway, that's a comment. My question is about, if I'm reading the whereases, there is reference to a Supreme Court decision in the whereases. This goes more to the earlier discussion about services and impact fees on different things. Seems to me, and maybe I'm wrong about this, that this bill is kind of in response to that Supreme Court decision. And requiring, and the reason that there's a focus on development projects and development impact fees and capital projects is because of this Supreme Court decision. Is that correct?
Ben?
Well, the preamble is, and I'm just trying to help here. The preamble is, as we know, not a substantive provision. So I wouldn't. I mean, I know there's been litigation about that issue, about how it's being used. You need that essential nexus they're referencing, but preambles are only really added at the request of the sponsor, is my understanding, of the advocates. So it might be good.
Yeah, no, I understand that it's not part of the law, but I'm saying that it does indicate that the law is at least in part a response to this Supreme Court decision. Is that correct?
I think it helps with it. Yeah, the basis for what's added in the preamble is usually, I mean, I think so. Yeah, I think, but the preamble language really comes about at the specific request of the sponsor or the advocate. So I think the best person to answer that might be the sponsor or the advocates.
The answer is
Nick, go ahead.
no. I mean, that is a part of it.
Okay.
Okay.
We
So,
want to
yeah,
me-
so just, thank you. So it seems to me that we want to keep it in that lane, right? Because we do have this Supreme Court decision. We want to keep it in that lane rather than expand it to include other things. That's my opinion. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Delegate Baker. Delegate Baker, your hand is up.
Hold on.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
I certainly can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to understand, because they talk about county government, where does the municipal governments fall into this? Because some municipalities, if not all, they collect these fees also.
Ben, is this all local governments or is this just counties?
This is just a county-wide reporting requirement. It's not getting into municipalities. Counties are the vast majority of the impact fees and excise taxes. Yeah.
And for a
Well,
lot,
it would depend on the size of the municipality.
I believe that,
There's a lot of
Baltimore
places.
City is counted either way. So Baltimore City would be covered under this, but other municipalities would not.
And I'm thinking that, I remember when I was a county commissioner, I'm thinking that the municipalities provided the counties, at least in my county, the excise tax, and surcharges, et cetera, that they collected. I think they reported that to the county also.
Okay, that's not this bill though. This bill just deals with counties.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Delegate Lehman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, thank you. I do want to return to Delegate Terrazas' points about the new paragraph 2 on the last page, lines 20 and 21. I don't read that. I share her concern that this reporting could be buried in another report because I don't read that as having the same requirement that would have to be posted on the county's website unless I'm missing something. It just refers to reports that are required under other parts of this article. I don't know what that's referring to. It seems to me
Well,
the reporting on a website is a brand new requirement.
Well, this whole report is a brand new report. And it can be, and then when it's reported to the governor and the General Assembly, can be included in another report. But this report also must be on the website of the county where it came from.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to me, respectfully, I disagree that it's clear that whatever this quote unquote another report that this could be folded into would also have to be on the county's website. I think we're creating I read it like we're creating a loophole. I probably inadvertently, that would be my concern about that. I share Delegate Terraz's concern that, you know, that introduces some uncertainty into this with that provision. I don't understand why
Delegate-
that's even
okay.
in, I'm just saying respectfully, I don't understand why that's even in there, 20 and
Okay.
21. If I would strike that.
Okay, we have, is that a motion?
I'd like to get feedback from Delegate Allen. It's his bill, but considering this would apply to all of our counties, I wouldn't want that to somehow create this,
Okay,
black hole
you
where
make
reports
that-
disappear.
Would you make a motion to strike that language and then we can discuss it?
Yes, I will make a motion to strike lines 20 and 21.
Okay, is there a
Second.
second?
Second. But I want to
Okay,
hear from the
Delegate Allen, I'm gonna let you respond to this proposed amendment to remove that language.
I mean, that's fine.
Okay, so the sponsor does not. And Ben, is there any objection that we've heard from anybody else that would want that language in there?
Not to my knowledge, Chair Healy. I don't think that Mako would have a particular objection. I don't want to speak for them, but I mean, the main part of the bill, of course, is the reporting on this. So
Okay, so what? It's been properly moved and seconded to strike the language on lines 20 and 21. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Okay, the ayes have it. Can we have a motion on the bill as amended?
Move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say no. Delegate Baker, you're on mute. Do you want to say yes or no?
I said yes.
Okay, thank you. Then we have the bill as amended will be on the voting list tomorrow. Okay? And that's the only thing we have on the agenda today. We will be meeting next week on Thursday to go through a whole slew of local bills that have letters of support. So that we can move things out before crossover. Okay? So
Yep.
just keep that in mind for